you never primary cover that you never guess which thing going back.
Professor Dembo, you did incredibly difficult. S is equal to beta sub 0. Then the S that was defined previous in zeta function. And then G00 is equal to 1. D01 is equal to I. And therefore, the zeta function can then be represented. Look at the formula that Gagut has transformed that complicated equation in 10.1. So it just neatly, you see, 1 plus R times e to power I minus 8 theta minus y logarithm of 2. It's very neat, as you can see. It's very simple looking. Does everybody agree? Compared to what you saw before for zeta function, can you see the simplicity? Can you see how less complex this transformation of zeta and zeta function is compared to what we saw before, where we have infinite summation, that looks so complicated, and R was flowing everywhere. The little r was there, and so on. This is what Gagut, in other words, the invariant on top there transformed the problem into 1 plus R, where R is the what you call the magnitude of the complex function U. Okay? And over here, the mathematician will speak.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Jim Crow scrambling for you. Please hold. I'm going to connect the professor in. Please hold. Here he is. He's coming in.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good.
Very good. Did you all see that? Did you see what was playing a little while ago?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What about Cy Hearn? Did you see that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And what about Brother Cruz? Did you see what was going on in the piece that was played earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. What sense did you all get from it?
It's good to hear you.
Good to hear you.
Okay. What about Cy? Cy, what sense did you get from watching that piece?
Oh, I got the sense that we were able to OFAPA was able to prove to Sir Michael Atiyah and the Clay mathematics that the Riemann hypothesis had already been proved. There was something called gas that came out of the Riemann hypothesis that no one could ever know was possible, but only through at a sub infinity, the solution. So I got that out of it.
How about Sister Q? Sister Q, what do you remember?
Well, I got out that it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that it showed that there's a proof. It shows that that's proof the solution has already been solved. It's proof, already a proof.
That video you saw is from 2015, almost 3 years ago, December 28th, 2015.
Y'all understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
This, and did you notice the scrum?
In fact, Mr. Hearn was actually at that event. Is that not correct, sir?
Yes, sir. I was there, New York, Brooklyn.
Physically there. He was physically at that presentation.
Yeah, Brooklyn, with Minister Brown and the rest of the family.
That's right. And it was actually, sent over to Klamath, and it was sent on to specifically Sir Michael Atiyah. I don't think calling him size warranted, actually. You understand?
Yes.
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 So a person at 89, 90 years old, so low to come and steal stuff like that and try to present it as their solution, you know that these people are morons, don't you?
Yes.
Idiots.
Absolutely.
I see
Yes.
the glory of God all around me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the bottom line. So therefore, would you be accepting any prize from such morons? Is that worth it?
No.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. That's why Professor E. Abubakar is so critical. He's representative of all our efforts, but he makes sure that we're not going to be accepting prizes from morons like so-called Sir Michael Atiyah. He has absolutely no brains. He supposedly, as I was using a word, he said he made a presentation in Göttingen and all that nonsense. There is nothing about Riemann hypothesis that he will present over there that doesn't come out of the G2J. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
If it is supposed to be correct.
Yes.
Now, that is what we're dealing with. So if you go accept a prize from morons like that, then you are insulting your creator. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why the African International Prize to Science and Technology. Can you see that?
Yes.
It's the only prize
Yes.
that qualified that Gagut, that is good enough for Gagut. Can you see that?
Yes.
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 Yeah. So, but which is what compels you to raise the money instantaneously.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you all see that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Quickly.
Well, if you don't raise it, how are you going to give the prize if you don't raise it, right?
Gotta raise it.
Yes.
See, you could see what God had used me to do, the kind of sacrifices I had to make. Do you understand?
A lot of sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. To take on morons like this up and walk around them and their stupidity and idiocy and get a message to their supreme headquarters in Göttingen. So Atiyah is now going down there in their dirty, low-level kind of dynamics to go and mess up what has been established already in Göttingen University. Put up the Göttingen so they can see. He's going to lick boots to Göttingen and try to tell them where, he's going to come up with some fraud at age of 90. The Arabidian is far superior to this idiot. Absolutely. I could talk to Professor Garabedian. He doesn't fall this low. At 90, he's a disgrace, total disgrace. Y'all understand?
Can everyone see it?
Yes.
Now this is, you see, when you look at the first cut, you can't, there's nowhere where Atiyah is here, even if you raise it up.
Yes.
Atiyah doesn't show up. He can't see my back. Do you understand? Well, you've gone too far, but that's what, can you see him? At the bottom. At the Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
And have the nerve to call him Sir Michael Atiyah. Sir, what's Sir for? For morality?
Yeah.
And they give them so-called failed medalists. It's worth nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's why you have to understand this. See, look at people who have some credentials. David Hilbert, can you say that? This is a Russian. They don't like me because I push Russian to number 2. Here I am. Do you understand? See, you've never known Jim Crow to have you whip their behind and they pay you. You understand that?
Yes.
Jim Crow doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not in that business. Okay, so you have to make your mind up. You know.
Yes.
you want to win a real prize, whip them and get prize from your own people. You understand? Understand?
Yes.
Go and lick their boot and get worthless prize. Right?
Yes.
Okay, you want me to go and do that?
Never.
First of all, it's not possible for me to do that. You realize that, right?
No.
Yes.
So, and because where I am is where you are. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't do that with you.
At the top.
I've been consistent all my life. You understand? So it isn't some dirty few dollars from Jim Crow. And Jim Crow have some Jewish people and WASP and all kinds of things. And the Jewish members are among them should understand their own history in Germany. What formula did for them, and that they could actually come and try to steal a formula. Very, very adamant about it. You know that the formula got, the Jewish people out of the gas chambers in Germany. They've forgotten very quickly. So now here they're working in exactly, in other words, they're trying to steal a formula. So if somebody has stolen what rescued them from the gas chambers, they would have been in trouble. That's what's happening. And the Jewish, the Arabs, Atiyah is Arabic and Scottish. The kind of partnership they had during the so-called slavery. That's what's going on right now. Jewish people provided ships, a lot of ships. To force the prisoners of war from Africa to America. This is not unsimilar to that. Shame on you, Clemath. Shame on you. You have no value whatsoever to offer to the world. That's the bottom line. It's the real deal here. You can't change this. Number 1, that's what it is. Week 26, number 1. And the whole dynamics is on the company that one keeps. The company defines who you are. That's Gauss right here. You understand? Can you all see that?
Yes.
Praise God. Yeah.
Praise God. Gauss has credentials, not morons like Clemath. That's a class. So the group that defines you is Gauss group. No, but I want to move around it, okay? Yeah. Okay, it's Gauss and this is Oyibo right here. Okay, and the Russian is there. Russians were hoping to be number 1. They didn't make it in there. And the credit to German before so-called Atiyah goes over there to pollute their minds shamelessly. The Germans were so logical and so fair. This is a legend. This one here is one of their legend sons. They had no problem putting him 2 steps below Gagut. Can you all see that?
Yes.
This already decides that
Yes.
G2J is the solution to Riemann hypothesis. Because they have the grand unified theorem, that is the solution to all problems. Atiyah is going to go down, he presented, so-called present an outline of a nasty fraud of stolen goods. Doesn't belong to him. You understand?
Yes.
The Arabs, are still committing atrocities in North Africa. A lot of them. That's what Atiyah is doing here, shamelessly. But you know where his position is. Put it up so so people can see. He's nowhere near Gagut, so there's no way he could have, even for a second, thought about the solution. Certainly not at 90 years old. So what was emailed to him, he read it and he's coming up with, yeah, he could put some little patches here and there, but it's a fraud. Absolute fraud. 90-year-old, especially if he's not a genius to begin with, which he has proven that very loud and clear, cannot navigate through individuals, especially if he hasn't done that for 88 years. He can't begin at 90 years and give you something correct. Can you all see that? Yeah.
Yes.
So you're being presented with a nasty fraud. Absolute nasty fraud. Is there anybody that cannot see that?
No.
No.
That's right. That's what you've been taking for 2,500 years. Arabs do a lot of nonsense, incredible nonsense for our people. And so the Jewish people as well. They do MLK 365 in Philadelphia. It's fraud, absolute fraud. But so, it's not everybody. They're good Arabs, they're good Jewish people, they're good WASP. But there are some that are very, 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 very unfair. Armed robbers. That's Atiyah here. Trying to steal G2J solution. So you don't want to get a prize from such people. That's why Professor Iyabaka was in Cambridge. He has the brains. He don't mince words like Atiyah. You understand? Yes. Y'all understand?
Yes.
And then when he
Yes.
woke up from the high table in Nigeria, he came up and made the statement, yes, this is the very big breakthrough. And it's perfectly correct as the theorem in terms of the infallible solutions to all problems. He made his point very loud and clear. Atiyah is here and he wants to steal it at 90 years old. Pitiful. So now you see the real deal. That's right, what's in front of you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the real price. You can see that, right?
Yes.
In terms of from the non-blacks, because Gotten, yes, and it's done in the spirit of Gauss and David Hilbert, and the spirit are happy with it because this is what grand unified theorem is what every one of them has been looking for. And in England, they're very dirty. The BBC, the Claymat, what they call the nasty Wikipedia. They're piling up a lot of rubbish, absolutely, there. They don't have anything on Gagut. So you can see the spirit of Gauss didn't happen. The very greatest work ever in the history of humanity, there's not a piece of it on Wikipedia. Did you all know that?
Terrible.
So what it means, so what's the game plan there? Ignore, steal, and then they're using Atiyah to come and steal it. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what has been going on for 2,500 years. That's why God busted them. Atiyah, if you had brains to find out G2J, you should have done that way before you are 60 years old. 19 years old, all you could give is robbery. Shame on you. That's the bottom line. So let's get over to, so you see the reality right before your eyes. Let's get on to the real prize, the real prize from the people, the African International. Yeah, it's our first page. I know we're going to rush quickly. And then we'll get back here. Okay? It's not up here. The screen in front of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the word that God ordered for us. And praise God for Professor Abubakar. And he has taken a lot of nonsense from these morons for coming out and, standing tall and within righteousness on behalf of the entire Black race. There aren't too many Black people that can do that. Okay? I mean, they forced him out of office immediately as soon as he told the truth. He lost his seat on the Senate to the detriment of the entire Black people. That's who you're talking about here. There are a lot of other wonderful brothers and sisters who are now so scared. This is my cousin. He mysteriously dropped dead after, not too long after, after this was done. They've been intimidating the Black people since since 1990, literally, but especially since 1999.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace is perfectly correct. That's what we're dealing with here. People are so scared to talk to me because Jim Crow is, you understand me? Like what Sister Q was saying a little while ago. A sister trying to go near Gagut, she's afraid she's going to be killed. You understand me?
Yeah.
You all understand?
Or protected is what it happened.
Exactly. What kind of people?
Yeah.
Understand me? What kind of life is that? So what is going on here is on the basis of the supremely powerful recommendation by the distinguished Nigerian Senate. This guy is definitely distinguished. You can't get more distinguished, not only as a mathematician, but a politician.
And a human being.
And a human being. You understand?
Yes.
By the distinguished Nigerian Senate, through their unanimous adopted God Almighty's Grand Unified Theorem, Gagut, Senate Motion number 151, March 2005, co-authored by the mathematics legend. Anywhere Gagut goes, this Professor Abubakar's name will go there. And the same way, so-called Sir Michael Atiyah will be recognized for what it is. As a thief,
thief.
That's right. Co-authored by the mathematics legend. And what, see, by following righteousness, your credentials is so high. It's so, I mean, it's so, you add to yourself, because Professor Yalbach has credentials to say, gee, let me find a way to get a piece of this. No, the piece for him is the righteousness, to tell the truth. That's a piece for him, in addition to what it means to our people and humanity. Because fraud can't run the world. You run the fraud, run the world or the universe by fraud, everything collapses. Chaos, that's what is in the world right now. So co-authored by the mathematics legend, mathematics professor, Senator E. Abubakar, follow their very rigorous. There's no revelation of a discovery that has gone through as much, rigor of, reviews. Anyone not even close. So you go through all that only to have some thieves come and try to steal it. You understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Global review and verification of Gagut infallibly and exactly to be all the
Yes.
Yes, see, they delay.
Yes, we see.
There's crap. You see, that's what if you heard when I was talking about the convergence, they were scrambling just like they're scrambling Sister Q's, and they delayed they delayed the responses so that when it comes out, it will be responding to the wrong question.
Wrong question.
Yes, that's
childish.
Childish. That's you understand? So you have to keep your humor. So it's childish for a 90-year-old to try to come and steal something. So therefore, you wipe out everything that you're supposed to represent. Okay? You
yes.
Everything that people are supposed to admire you for. So, yeah. Okay. Right,
We're sick of them giving us their clothes. We don't want to wear their clothes anymore.
Because the clothes are 3/5 clothes. You understand?
Right.
Get your Gagut clothing in terms of the 5/3. That's the therapy. That's what everybody needs right now.
Right.
You all understand?
Yes.
So, exactly to be all infallible solutions to all problems of mathematics and all other disciplines.
Yeah.
Which compel the Nigerian Senate to demand, as what Professor E. Abubakar. I remember when there was a meeting with the United Nations and the ambassadors of the countries. He was there and he was telling them the truth. And, and of course, those, they throw in the political, say, oh yeah, congratulations for Gagut from United Nations. You understand? And the Canadian ambassador. Congratulate me and all that, but that is in preparation for them to steal it. You understand?
Yes.
Yes, deception.
Absolutely. So, problems of mathematics and all other disciplines, which compare.
Yes.
They're just so desperate. It's a good thing, Sister Q has a lot of humor. I mean, a lot of yeah. See, that was because when I was proving the convergence, they kept on, or especially when I was bringing in the African piece, they were scrambling everything that I said. Okay, so that's for hiding and then steal. And exactly is what they put Atiyah to do right now. So you should pass the word to the people. Do you understand?
Yes.
Tell the people the truth. Atiyah is a thief. Okay? So demand that
Yes.
yeah. Demand that you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, through whom God
Okay.
revealed Gagut, be recognized by awarding you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, the greatest academic prize in history on behalf of the Black race and the rest of humanity. We are writing to convey to you an African Prize Award for Excellence in Science and Technology of the African International Foundation for Science and Technology. You all understand? So I'm not going to, I just want you to see that part to give a sense of how this was, consensus in terms of the spirit of all the Black people, not just on this planet, but everywhere else, and humanity, even though some have very little humanity in themselves, because this planet is credited with the G.I.J. That's something to be proud of, if people can see far enough. What's the point trying to explore space when you can't even understand something next, right in front of you, sitting on your nose? Do you understand? It's a wasted energy, obviously. And the concept of space they have is so, you understand me, is so laughable. It's so mediocre, so babyish. You understand? Jim Crow thinks he's going to be in charge of the universe and make God his slave. You understand? You understand me? The number of humans on the planet.
Yeah.
You understand? Each one of them can take the entire galaxy. You understand me? One person, one human being can take an entire galaxy. But Jim Crow is so dumb, he thinks it's some kind of tiny place he can go there and set up and tell people fraud. You understand? That's how simple-minded Jim Crow is. Do you understand?
Yes.
And to provide leadership, you have to be godly in terms of intelligence, big brains, and big heart. It's very important. That's what we're talking about. The ultimate brains, what we're discussing here. When you see simple-mindedness, if you don't even have a brains to understand what you're supposed to be doing, why are you trying to steal the formula? Do you understand me? What are you going to do with it? Just extract bombs out of it and destroy yourself? You understand?
Yes.
So the greatest academic prize in history on behalf of the Black race and the rest of humanity, we are writing to convey to you an African Prize Award for Excellence in Science and Technology and so on. So the award is in recognition of your strenuous efforts through God's revelation to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, during 1990 of the Grand Unified Theorem. So we went over that before. That is pretty much done. I'm going to, because I can't. Okay, yeah. It's so sensitive. Okay, go as well. Go to the second page now. So, well, I think, yeah, I did that before. Okay. The Gagut solutions are all infallible. The clear math has been solved, forever. Okay, go to the, so now, so now, this is where we were before we took a break. All right. This is the G2J solution, and as you've seen before, it's a mapping. You understand? It's a mapping from logarithm mapping from U space to eta sub 0 space. It's a map. It's like taking a picture. You understand? You all understand?
Everyone understand?
Yes.
Okay. So in that mapping, circles, transform into
Yes.
vertical straight line. All right, circles form straight lines in the other space, and so, and that vertical straight line is what Riemann guess is about. But Riemann didn't have a GIJ. He didn't have a way to solve a solution to every problem, like Gagut. God bless us through Gagut. So he had to guess. But the blessing God gave him, and by the way, he was not well. He had tuberculosis, at the age of 40. So what he guessed was phenomenal. That they do lie on a vertical line. So this is the invariant that exactly represents that. There was nowhere anywhere in the world that had any clue this is what the solution looks like before Gagut. You all understand?
Yes. Everyone understand?
Yes.
What about you, Mr. Hearn?
Yeah.
You understand? That's it right here. And the only thing that's on people's mind is how to steal it. Oh, God. You understand? That's definitely sick. All right? So you take it, you didn't know something for 130, and they talk about, so then, you understand me? So-called Professor Atiyah comes in 2018, 28 years after the solution existed. Oh, he gave an outline. What outline of a fraud? He's giving outline in Göttingen. Göttingen already knew this. Göttingen had featured this in Göttingen Academy of Sciences related material. We showed you that the other day. No, he's going to ignore all that and come and just steal it. Boy, he had added another prize. As every prize, but no formulas. You understand me? No accomplishment, but all prizes, any number. You understand? That's the fraud, absolute fraud. So, but you can see this is perfect. It's from God. From here, you see immediately, okay, the geometry, and he claimed to be a geometer. Obviously, Sagas is the real geometer. Sagas had no problem seeing all the solution to the problem. And that's why he was admiring Sagas. Sagas is a real mathematician.
When I gave him the review back in November 3rd, 2010, he was excited to get that review from Professor Grigor-Sagas.
You all understand?
Does everyone understand? Miss Q?
Yes.
What did you last hear me say?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I was asking, did you hear what we were just talking about in terms of the G2J solution and my presenting the Atiyah, the review by Grigor-Sagas, the real geometer? Miss Q? Miss Q?
Yes, I heard. Yes, I heard it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, keep your humor, okay?
What about you, Mr. Hearn? Did you hear it?
Yes, I heard it.
Okay. So all this is dynamic, scramble and all that is to hide so they can steal it. But you're saying it, and praise God for people like Professor E. Abubakar. You understand? Without what he did and the cooperation between the Black people globally, we would have been waiting for clear math to give us a prize.
Yes, praise God.
Okay, so, you'll give a fraudulent prize. That's the only thing you can get, and steal it in the process. So The G2J paper title is what John was sharing with you before. Unfortunately, it was not recorded during that time, but it's God Almighty's Grand Unified Theorem, Gagut. Gij, comma J equals 0 has revealed proven solution to Riemann hypothesis. The proof is so clear. All you need is just take a look at this invariant here. You have a log into this space here. That's it. Automatically, you see the solution to Riemann hypothesis. You see what Riemann was talking about. So any geometer, any real geometer will know this is the infallible solution to Riemann hypothesis. Do you understand me? Do you all understand?
Yes.
So therefore, for people like Atiyah and company who cannot tell, they don't know what truth is, obviously. And they are kind. Obviously, there's not a single price they could give that is worth anything. It's a waste of time even accepting a price for such people because it's worthless, absolutely worthless. So, has revealed proven solution to Riemann hypothesis, a clear mathematics millennium problem by Professor Gabriel Aldo Oyibo. Gagut Unified and Radical Mathematics Research Journal, November 2010. And so-called Professor Atiyah was, you understand me? He was brave about it. A lot of information was sent over to him. Volume 1, number 1, pages 23 to 310. Papins Technology YouTube page, okay, which is given here. People, you cut and paste and you go over there and get into the details. That's some of this. And then the reviews that establish the fundamental basis of this solution. That's what the solution to Gij, J, J equal to 0. One of the reviews for AMS, okay, that's mathematical review 38E 83007. That is by Yom Karo, a legend in geometry. Okay, then EMS GBL 0929-53055. And then, of course, Professor E. Abubakar and Professor L. Dambo conclude G2J to be the only valid solution to the Riemann hypothesis and has been revealed through Gagut during 1990. Clement reviewers, they have not been able to disagree. Lot of communications with them. One of them was what John showed you earlier. And they cannot fairly disagree. You cannot disagree with him unless you're a fraud. This is infallible. John, yeah. I need you to put up the graph. So not the graph, the logarithmic plot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, okay. Yes. So people can get a feel for it. See, you're learning a whole lot right now in this. Yeah, okay.
It's not up yet. It's not.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that looks better than the way it was.
Can everyone see it?
Yes.
That's right. The only way G2J could be wrong is if this is wrong, but this cannot be wrong because this is a textbook. This is what anybody taking elementary course in complex variables will study. You understand? You all understand?
Yes.
Now go. So you see, what you have the Z comes out of eta sub 0. You understand? Z is x plus I, y. But it comes out of eta sub 0. So in this form here, this is the old-fashioned mathematical equation writing. So they say Z is equal to log of W. But in the Gagutical write-up, you bring all of them, all the things to the right-hand side or the left-hand side. So you take Z to the right-hand side. What you have is you have Z minus Z plus log of W. So can you see that?
Yes.
If you take Z to the other side, to become minus. If you go to the other side of the equal sign, it becomes a minus. So you have minus
Yes.
Z. So in other words, the equal sign here becomes a minus. And then the equal sign comes over here and it's equal to 0. 0 is God. That's what we call G to J. You understand? So if you make this a minus and you have equal sign here and you have G to J, you will have exactly the form of the G2J solution invariant. You understand? Do y'all understand?
Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Okay, so just pretend that this equal sign here is a minus and the equal moves over here and then put a G2J here.
Yes.
So you have Z here. This Z here comes out of eta sub 0. In the G2J solution, the eta sub 0 is multiplied by a natural log of 2. So the Z here will be eta sub 0, actually minus Z here, when this is a minus. I'm sorry, a plus, sorry. This has to be a plus. This is a minus. Minus come with a Z here. So if you have a plus here and a minus here, the minus Z here will be equivalent with the eta sub 0 natural log of 2 in the Gagut in the G2J invariant. Do you all understand?
Yes.
Do you all understand?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is, therefore, when you imagine this to be a plus and this a minus, then you have the G2J equals minus Z, which represent minus eta sub 0 multiplied by natural log of 2 is just a constant. Geometrically, that's just what you call a dilator or a magnifier. Do you understand me? It doesn't change the geometry. Do you understand?
Yes.
So therefore, the genius, the blessing from God comes in terms of the most difficult problem. If Atiyah had any brains, he would have found this at the age of 18, maybe 20. Do you understand?
That's correct.
So God revealed that unto me, and then the next thing is how to steal it. You understand?
Yeah.
That's what is wrong. So the log of W is equivalent with the log of U. The U as a function of eta sub 0. Because the Y here is a function of Z. Multiplied by e to power I into 2J plus 1 pi. So therefore, it's so elegant, it's so godly, it's unbelievable. And it's infallible in terms of how that transformation comes. So it translates the whole Riemann hypothesis into a triviality, because it becomes an issue of just understanding that this invariant or this formula here, where you have log transformation, augmentative transformation, that means if you got a circle here, that circle will become a vertical straight line here. And Riemann hypothesis, or Riemann himself, was saying, hey, the solutions lie on vertical straight lines. That alone is very clearly what is the solution. You can see with so much clarity. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Can you see that? Hello?
Yes.
What about you, Mr. Hearn? Did you hear what was going on? Mr. Hearn.
Yeah.
Did you hear what was presented a little while ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're scrambling, both of you.
But keep your sense of humor. That's how you verify their character. Do you understand? And desperation. They want to steal this so bad. You understand? They don't want you to hear it. You understand? You understand? And see, you can see the dynamics.
Yes.
You can see the dynamics of false sense of security. YouTube and Google say, gee, don't worry, don't have to develop it, because if black people go into develop, you know, a similar system, it will be so superior to theirs, they will be putting them out of business. So they say, okay, we'll give it to you for free. But you see what they're providing is worse than not getting anything at all, literally. It's a false sense of security, though.
Yes.
Which is stealing, which is actually stealing. That's one reason why you cannot depend on claimant to give you a prize. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes. That's why Professor E. Bakar and the other black people came together. We're tired of waiting for Jim Crow to give us a prize, because we are the most intelligent race. I have no business getting a prize from Jim Crow. Even if they beg us to get a prize, throw it to the dogs. It's not worth anything. There's no respect. But this is exactly what came out of G2J. You all understand? You all understand? The so-called most difficult problem is,
Yes.
yeah, the most so-called difficult math problems is transformed into an elegantly simple, geometry exercise. That is what it means to say Oyibo has been blessed by God with ultimate intelligence. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we're dealing with here. So now, but the next dynamics is, okay, that automatically gives you, okay, now that is the idea. That's where Professor Riemann got his idea about zeros on vertical line from, because it's an equation. The zeros of this produces a mapping. In other words, if you are in the G or the U space, this is the U space here, and then this is the eta sub 0 space, or eta sub 0, a natural log of 2 space here. Okay, you can see X and Y, the orthogonal coordinates. So therefore, what it means is, so now you got to go to the next steps. Okay, how do I locate this point? And that's the other dynamics. In the presentation earlier, we were going over the convergence. In other words, zeta function has been proven to have a convergence dynamics that are, that can only occur when X is greater than 1. That was proven very, very rigorously in the paper that you were getting a glimpse of a little while ago. You all understand? You all understand?
Yes.
So what happens then is, okay, Riemann guess x is 1 over 2. That means it's less than 1. But in that domain or that interval, the zeta function does not converge. You all understand? It does,
Oh yeah.
it does not converge.
Yes.
What that means is that when we were asked to find the zeros of zeta function, it requires that you find the zeros when n approach, that's the number of terms approaches infinity. That's what was called for by the problem. So therefore, what happens is convergence can only, convergence means that when you're keeping large number of terms, if the function does not converge into one single function, then you cannot find its zero if it diverges, if it goes haywire, which is the situation with the zeta function. When you are, 1/2, the zeta function does not converge at all. Doesn't converge. So there's no way you're going to find a solution when, you have to keep infinite terms, because infinity is not defined. There's no one number for infinity. You go on forever. Do you all understand this concept?
Yeah.
You get a sense of what we're talking about. In other words, you have something that is
Yes.
expanding forever. There's no way you're going to find, the zeros for such a function. Can you see that? Can you all see
Yes.
that? Okay. Now, so therefore, when we are told that Professor Atiyah and others who don't know any better because they can't see the geometry and the dynamics of the convergence, you cannot find the zeros of a function that does not converge when the number of terms approaches infinity. There will be nothing. That will be because you change the n, you have a different solution. So therefore, which one are you going to say is the solution? You all understand?
Yes.
So, but we're told that Professor Atiyah,
Yes.
Professor Atiyah supposedly, because he says Professor Atiyah claims proving Riemann hypothesis. In other words, that Riemann hypothesis that, fortunately, guess when you have x is equal to equal to 1 over 2 or 0.5, that you can find the zeros of the zeta function. There is no such a thing because the zeta function does not convert to any definite set of zeros. The zero would depend on how many terms you keep. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, but I hear is supposedly saying, oh no, there are zeros at 1 over 2. That on us already.
That's idiotic. Well, they don't converge.
Exactly. There you go. That's what we're dealing with. That's what is getting paid for, getting a price for. You understand?
As a fraud.
Exactly. That's what we're dealing with. So you don't want to be, you don't want to, you don't get price for such people, from such people. You understand me? There's no place. You don't belong in the same place. No wonder the IQ you're dealing with in them is 19 and yours is 28. You obviously can see their limitations very clearly. You will not embarrass yourself that way. You understand me? Well,
Professor, how would the IQ look like? You know how they do 100 and then they say genius is 130. How would it look like as far as 19 and 28? As far as, you know, the average they say is 100 or whatever.
that probably will horrify you. So, so what happens is, so
what would 28 be though? I mean, would it be like 160?
Well, okay. So what you do is, if you make theirs 100, you understand? So ours will be, of course, mine is infinity, but
right.
The average for Black people will be 28 over 19 times 100. All right? So 28 over 19 times 100, if you just quickly, and you could do that, can somebody set up a computer? Or John, can you give me a figure, that exact figure? 28 divided by 19. Please take this picture in your mind. That's what
28 divided by 19.
Yes, is what roughly?
1.476814.
Okay.
1052.
Side?
1.47.
Okay, 147.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If there are 100, then our average will be 147 IQ.
Got it.
So that's the gap between you and Jim Crow. You understand?
Yeah.
This is their own figures. This is not you. It's their own figures. You understand?
Yes.
So that's, you can see a large gap, right? In other words, you are
Yes.
the race of geniuses. They are average. When they average, you are geniuses automatically. And that is conservative. You understand? So, so that's what we're dealing with. So therefore, you can't be a genius race and be accepting prize or certainly waiting for, an average race to be giving you a prize. You understand? How would they be able to evaluate you? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's the problem. So now, so therefore, so you can see how it's not possible to prove Riemann hypothesis right. Can you see that? Because there's no convergence when x is equal to half. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so therefore, but I hear Atiyah and some of their collaborators were talking about, gee, they prove Riemann hypothesis. No, you can't prove Riemann hypothesis right. The geometry is right, that's all you can verify. But the exact number here is wrong because there's no convergence in that realm. Absolutely no convergence. When you do computation, you know that, you understand me? People who do computation, as a matter of fact, the people who compute the zeros have indicated they have not been able to get any computers that could handle when they increase the number of terms to certain points, certain numbers. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't converge, the figures are so large it cannot fit in any computer. Do you understand?
Yes.
So therefore, so if you claim you prove Riemann hypothesis to be wrong, and there are no computers to verify you are right. Do you understand?
Yes.
That automatically says you've done nothing. Do you understand?
Right.
Can you see that? Now that's what Professor Atiyah is supposed to be getting a prize for. And
Wow.
you understand?
Yes.
That's what, because they say, oh, the outline he was giving was he's proven Riemann to be correct. Riemann hypothesis to be correct. You understand? There are no computers large enough to compute this, compute zero. So how did he know it's right? So the only thing I think he says right is, okay, when you do a computation for, as a matter of fact, in our computation here, we couldn't go more than 10 terms in Riemann in the zeta function. 10 terms. When you go past 10 terms, you understand your little computer will blow out. It cannot compute anything for you there. You understand? Only 10 terms when you do Riemann hypothesis. So, but 10 is very far, too far from infinity. Do you understand? 10 is very, very finite compared to infinity. It's close to zero. So therefore, you can't do anything. So therefore, to go and confuse the world and tell the world fraud that Riemann hypothesis is correct by a person who was supposed to have sat in Newton's chair, it's painful to hear that. It's extremely painful, embarrassing. You all understand? You all understand?
Yes.
Okay. Brother Sai, did you hear that?
No, I didn't get to hear that. No.
Okay, they've scrambled you too. What happens is, you understand? So there are no computers to verify, your proof of supposedly Riemann being correct for infinite fields, for infinite number of terms, when most computers can barely go past 20 at most. If you're in the government labs at certain where you have very large computers, maybe you go 100. We were able to, but when we did 440, it was in the domain, the interval where the zeta function converges. That's the only place you could talk about Riemann hypothesis.
You know about those zeros that you're talking about as far as computers, and they can only do 100. How about the R in on the donation screen? That R when they say and they say 10 to the power of 10 to the power times 10 billion and everything. That R right there, how many zeros would that be? No, that's past 100.
Well, which is the realm of infinity. Now that's what we're talking. That's what is so, you understand, so annoying to hear that kind of stuff. It is so painful to hear that. You understand me? How could somebody be so careless, so incredibly irresponsible?
Tia, he can't even solve that problem right there on the donation page.
Absolutely not, because he doesn't know what we're talking about. There's no clue what we're talking about. Because that is a part of the Riemann solution.
Right, it's asking for the prime number.
Exactly. So if you can't put it in your computer, how are you going to evaluate whether it is prime number or not? But we have solution right in here at the ground zero, the far pitches and technology. So after you've been associated with high, so-called high university names and all that all this time, and you come, just painful to see that. Very disgusting. So disgusting. So therefore, there's no way Riemann hypothesis is true for infinite field. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. The fraud that is going to be perpetrated to the world can only hurt humanity. You understand? So therefore, the African International Prize is the only prize that is appropriate. You understand? For Gagut. And you also,
Yeah.
yes, because Black people do have brains. They have big brains and big hearts. You understand?
Yes.
Big brains and big hearts. That's the bottom line. That's what Jim Crow needs to learn from. Stealing, how long can you continue stealing and robbing? You steal from people and you don't even know what in the world you're going to do with what you stole. So, okay, so therefore, now, please ask questions. You know, because this is zeta equivalent of a G2J here, and clearly maps from the U space to the eta sub 0 space, which is the x and y, x plus I, y. Okay, that's the same. You know, that comes out of eta sub 0. So I multiply a constant, it just magnify the scales and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is, you know, so therefore, at 1/2, it's not possible for computation when n is infinity. Okay, so by being, you understand me? There's no way, because not only is it geometrically impossible, but you can't get it on your account. The people who have done computation over the years have already confirmed that, because they said they don't have, I mean, they look and see, in other words, so the number in the qualifying exam, you understand me? Qualifying exam that most of the so-called Ivy League and Cambridge, Oxbridge and all that, they cannot pass it. They can't get into a doctoral program here because they have no clue how to pass that test in terms of determining if the thing is a prime number or not. There's no, I don't know one single one. What is going on with Professor Atiyah's even confirmed that further. Do you understand? Because Professor Atiyah cannot pass such a test. He's there, let him go and disprove us. Go on our website and try to pass the fundamental doctoral qualifying exam to determine if that number there is a prime number. And yet he's winning the prize. He can't get into a doctoral program at the far pitches of technology. You understand?
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here. So now, John, I want you to come and are you able to come and set up something here? Sure. Yeah. I want you to set up the stuff from the paper that you have saved, the technical paper.
Yes, I know.
That's going to take you some time to find?
No.
Okay. What I would have liked is to perhaps play the video while can you do that quickly? While you search for that number, so then some of that will go in, especially the part on the convergence, scramble. Put that on first before we go for this other document.
what has happened immediately. Because what happens is you have R, which is the magnitude of U, divided by 2 to the power x. A mathematician that has remembered they are complex variables will now see that in that mode, the expression there being an invariant because zeta of x is equal to 0. That means it's an invariant. So what happens is it means that this expression, the expression on the right hand is equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, this is actually a transformation of a logarithmic transformation. Because you have 1 to the left there, you can take the R over 2 times e to the power I into theta minus y log of 2 to the right hand side of the equation, or to the left hand side, and 1 will be a positive on the other side. And then take the log of both sides. You see the logarithm of 1 will be 0. And so what you get will be similar to what the invariant represented earlier, which is eta sub 0 log of 2. You put the minus before that, plus log of u, and all that is what you get equal to 0. And what that does is, in reality, it becomes a logarithmic mapping of the function u onto the S space. And so then it leads us to the next conclusion that comes after that. Move down so you can see. And that's the definition of the U's. All you need is to remember your logarithmic transformation in complex variable. Move down, and then you're going to see the results that come out of that. So that simple simplifying of the Riemann, the zeta function, gives you something that every person that has tried to solve this problem. And another one is a that's how we go. It's huge. That's what I'm going to say. Please, this mathematics is geometric. So the next step that comes, all that I have determined how to determine convergence of the rate of the zeta function. Okay? So now you rewrite the kind of plan or flashing is a zeta function. Okay? So that's the zeta function of the sum. The zeta function is not more than the function of S over F convergence. And that is when X is greater than 1. Okay? Otherwise, it does not have one direct function. That's better for but a better function, I want to find one solution to that last one. So we will represent that function in a better subtraction of the subtraction down there. Okay? In the case of land dash 9D, we will see the zeta function being expressed as a summation both sides and sides. The summation of both sides and sides. And becoming bigger. Okay? You transform it into a geometric function and a series. And will begin to what the next thing. You see that? So that's how vertical transformation. That's how we solve problems. That's how we transform them. Those states where they are accurate, you can see the hidden problem. So, again, we're going to use the comparison class to try to determine the conditions for the convergence of theta function. Also, for theta function be taken as a real part plus an imaginary part. That's what we do. The class of IE. Okay? And then by the transformation below, you now define mu1 bar, the real part, and mu2 bar, the imaginary. In the infinite series, the class begin with the strong and the natural analysis. You will see we take the main point. We have the first side function. We're going to take the right unit. That's the positive part of it. Okay? And we saw that that will be greater. The function will be greater than the actual value. So, also, because the first side is that one. We know that if we use one, that component has to be greater than the new one over one bar. Okay? The reason is this, that if we replace that with And the U for 3. I reserve the moment. This is how much that's here. This is what that's what the this is diamond. This is diamond.
Did you find that document? Okay, go. How far away from there? Yes. So, yes. No, it's coming. Yes. Could enlarge it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Can you? Okay, so coming. Okay, there you go. Correct. With the other things playing, unless you want to pause it. You can talk. Okay. You pause it, but they can see. Yeah, they can. Good. Okay. I want to focus on this here.
All right. Can everyone see what's going on? In terms of, it's paused right now, but can everyone see what's in front of them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you see this equation here?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. That is the formula.
Yes.
Yeah, I want both of them. Okay.
Don't just use this up here. That's the very height.
Okay. Anyway, a little bit down. There you go. That's right. Now, so but then you show me because I need them for me. Okay. Can you see that?
Here.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is the U bar 3.
Yes.
Okay. This is the gas. The geometric African series.
This is the comparison test?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then I have to use it. Okay, so now it determines if U3 converges. This is the exact form. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. Then you gotta. Can you all see that? So
Yes.
okay. Now
Yeah.
that is a formula. Come down here and you can see. Okay. Okay. Now that is the U bar 3. That's the geometric African series. That is the upper bound for the zeta function. You understand? So if it's the upper bound, the comparison says the convergence, because its upper bound means that term by term, the U bar 3 is bigger than the zeta function. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. The absolute values are
Yes.
bigger, okay, throughout the entire series. So therefore, the gas then becomes a way. So the comparison test says, if you find such a function, and if the domain or the interval of their convergence will determine the interval of the convergence for the one that whose in the term by term is smaller. Do you understand? Do you all understand?
Yes.
That is a critical thing. It's a miracle that U-bar comes out to be exact formula, exact formula. And it's a function of n, which is the n, is the number of terms in the series. Do you understand? So what happens is,
Starting at 0.
yes, that's right. So what happens is, okay, so the upper bound, the maximum value, is a function of n in terms of the magnitudes, n and x being the the x value in the zeta function. I'm sorry, in the z or eta sub 0. You understand? You understand?
Oh, yeah, the space.
Yes. Okay. So what God did, which is pointing us to our heritage, it turns out that this is a very fundamental basis of the African mathematics. And so with U-bar becomes a function that's the upper bound, that whose convergence domain will be the convergence domain for the zeta function. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so therefore the thing here now, which is where Atiyah really gets me very angry. So what happens is, if U bar 3 blows up, it means it's too large. If it is too large, or as n approaches infinity, then it's not converging. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
The dynamics, the geometry of convergence is that as n gets larger, the function has to be approaching, some limit. Do you understand?
Some value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I call a limit. You understand?
Yes.
That's as n gets large, because in that case, then you can say, well, if you're leaving out, more terms that are supposed to be in there, then it becomes okay if it actually has a limit in terms of a value that it will approach at infinity. But since you cannot keep infinite terms, that's not possible, because you can't even define the number. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, if you find a domain where U bar diverges or does not converge, therefore that would define or conclude that zeta function will not converge in that region, because this one term by term is bigger than zeta function. Do you understand?
Yes.
In other words, this one, is the highest zeta function can go. So if this one doesn't converge, there's no way zeta function is going to converge. You understand?
Yes.
So, but if it converges automatically, if
The smaller one will converge.
the smaller will converge. Can you see that?
Yes.
Because this is bound, this bounds, zeta function is bounded by this one. That is the neatest part of this development. So when you
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's ungodly, it's incredible, it's devilish, and very nasty, very disgusting. So you don't want to fool around with people like that. And it's consistent with the entire history of those kind of things, stealing, killing, all those things. That's all we can see from them. Okay, so therefore, now let's test it out. So n can approach infinity. That is the region where the computation needs to be done. And Riemann says, okay, when n is equal to half, you understand me, there will be convergence. It's the only way you can talk about finding a zero. There's no convergence, then you can't determine a set of zeros. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Because a set will continue changing forever. So that means it's impossible for you to find, a specific set of solutions. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So now, the point, the value of x in that dynamics is 1/2. Suppose we make okay, so it is the value of n must be infinite, and infinite has no, like the 10 to 100 power. Do you understand me? Or 100 to power and all that. Do you understand me? Suppose n was that value, and x is 1/2. Do you understand? Suppose
Yes.
x is 1/2. Then what you see, this must be Jim could program someone. I think go to x over here, right here. So now, when x is 1/2, x minus 1 will become minus half. Can you see that?
Yes.
So can you see that? Okay.
Yes.
So if it's minus 1/2, it means that the n will be multiplying minus 1/2. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So therefore, the power of 2 will be minus n/2. Do you understand?
Yes.
But when n is minus, it means the 2 will be, in other words, 1/2 to minus n/2 will become 2 to power positive n/2. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens then is, okay, so if n is 100 to power 100, for example, you can see how that number 2 to power n/2 is going to blow out. You can see it's not converging. Do you understand?
Yes.
As n gets bigger, the number gets bigger. Do you understand?
Yes.
Much bigger, like 100 times 100 to power 100. So, and then 100 to power 1,000. If you continue increasing like that, the number only gets bigger. So that is not convergence. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
So by the time you reach infinity, you have no paper or computer to do the computation. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So therefore, you can see then that U bar will not converge when x is 1/2. Can you see that from that expression for U bar?
Yes.
Yes.
And therefore,
Yes.
the same thing with zeta function. The zeta function, because it's smaller than this, it term by term is smaller. Its convergence is determined by that region where U bar converges or does not converge. In this case, it doesn't converge. That means that same region or that same value of x, the zeta function is impossible to converge. Can you see that?
Yes.
Now, from what I've been told, somehow Professor Atiyah, has determined that there is convergence anyway. You understand?
That's foolish.
It's most embarrassing, and they're taking, taking people for such a. It's right there before your eyes. There is no, and of course, the computation, people who do computation already, even though they don't say it's not converging, they're hoping for a day when they will get a computer that is impossible. That means this problem will never be determined. You understand?
Yes.
Because the 100 million, there's no way you can
Yes.
build a computer in any number of light years, at all. It's not possible. So therefore, clearly, zeta function does not converge when x is equal to half. Very loud, very clear here. And Atiyah received this thing, and there's no way where he wrote me back saying, I disagree with the convergence geometry to develop, because it's not touchable. It's very clear, meticulously followed through. You understand?
Yeah, his eyes are like, wow, this
Yes.
is amazing.
Exactly. That's what everybody says. And some of the comments that I've seen are saying they're totally disappointed with Atiyah, talking all this nonsense. You understand? So in any case, and you can see that, Sister Q, you can see that, right? You can get a sense of
Yes, I can see it.
convergence. You can see, and it's a number that is extremely big. When there's a minus there, it goes out of sight. So therefore, so now this is so Atiyah getting a prize for saying something that there's no chance of it converging. Saying it converges is an insult of the Creator. That's how I see it. You understand? I'm getting a prize for that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an insult.
Yes.
It's more than an insult for we humans. You understand me? So that's it right here in your eyes. And Atiyah has this formula. Or, in the broadcast, it is there. So, John, so any questions with this here? This is, so now, so therefore you can see all the impossible things that Atiyah is getting a prize for. Do you understand me? Impossible, wrong. Impossible to be right. Do you understand?
Yes.
There's so many.
Yes.
There's so many of them. John, come on, so we show some other things. So first you have, supposedly he has he has convergence when it is impossible for things to converge. And that's the only way you could say Riemann hypothesis is right. Because you won't get a function, and so one single function, so you can't determine their zeros. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You really understand?
Yes.
Come on. We're running low. We've lost a lot of time already. Okay, so then, okay. Okay, yeah, can you pull the other document back in? All right, thank you very much, John. And but you have to see that. I hope you're remembering all this, folks. You're remembering the horrors that we're dealing with here in terms of somebody trying to steal Gagut?
Yes.
Yes.
The price in the process. That's what we're dealing with.
Everyone see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I still need to go around here. Okay, now, Atiyah supposedly, because by saying the Riemann hypothesis is correct, he's also saying that this thing is about, can you wonder? Okay, but you can talk. This is a math article about how many of the zeros are on the what is called critical line is when x is equal to 1/2. Do you understand?
Yes.
When x is equal to 2, okay, the zeros on that value.
Yes.
Okay. So Atiyah says all the zeros are on the line 1/2. Do you understand?
Yes.
And here you have a paper that says 41% of the zeros of the Riemann function are on the one x is equal to 1/2, the so-called critical line. Do you understand?
Yes.
But Atiyah says 100% of them are on the 1/2 by saying that Riemann hypothesis is correct. Do you understand?
Yes.
Can you see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He needs to go back and do his math.
How far back did he need to go? Kindergarten? Do you understand?
It's out of my mouth.
Do you understand me now? We have people now, these are people that have credentials. Do you understand me? And none of them is one Chinese. This guy here, John, please come over here. Okay, the Bowie guy is from Oxford University, of course. That is his home university. That's where he used to be head of the math department. You're probably going to bully him and say, just agree with me. You understand? But this is a paper they publish. Brian Corey is from America here, okay? And Matthew Young, you understand me? These are folks who have been, checking. In other words, when you see the G2J, there is no indication that X is restricted in terms of the logarithmic mapping geometry. So by not only restricting it to an interval, but to just one point is incredibly restrictive. Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you don't know the geometry in terms of real geometry, you could buy into that. So what happens is, if you go into the computation though, because you're running a program, you're going to see zeros that are not necessarily on the critical line or the 1/2. Do you understand?
Yes.
And what they found is they can only guarantee that 41%, roughly actually, when they say more than 41%, they're talking about 41.05% of the zeros are on the critical line. Can you see that?
Yes.
Sister Q, can you see that?
Yes.
But Professor Atiyah is winning a prize by saying 41.05 is 100, percent is 100%. Do you understand?
That's an approximation.
Do you realize 41 is not even half of 100? Do you understand?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you understand? To say the Riemann hypothesis is correct is saying all the 100% of the zeros lie on x is equal to 1/2. That's supposedly what Atiyah and company are presenting to get the prize. Do you understand?
Yes.
When in reality, this is a very recent, study. Okay, you can see there, math, number theory, 11 March 2011. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So, but take a sense. Look at, okay, so now you can see this individual. Okay, again, yeah, okay. You see below the little line there, you have, okay, and so on and so forth. Then the keywords, Riemann zeta function, critical, line zeros, okay, modifier, moment, mean, value, and all that. Okay, HMB, that is the Buey guy from Oxford University, okay? And then you have BC, that's Corey, okay? His work was supported by American Institute of Mathematics. Okay, this material is based upon works supported by the National Science Foundation, even though they're crumbing themselves. You understand me? This is government funding. Okay, and even though there's a disclaimer in terms of so, but this is scientific work, a mathematics work. Do you understand? So, and they've been considered to be brilliant enough to be win an NSF, funding. So they come to us, and 41.05% is the number of zeros that lie on the 1/2 line or critical line. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And 11. But Atiyah says it's 100%. That's the only way you could say Riemann hypothesis is correct. Do you understand?
Yeah, you just this paper refuted that.
Exactly. You know how many levels now? First, there's a convergence. It doesn't converge. And Atiyah says, oh man, it's convergence. That's the only way you can say it is correct. Riemann hypothesis is correct. Do you understand?
Yes.
And that the zeros all lie on 1/2 is the only side. Another way you could say, if Riemann hypothesis doesn't meet those conditions, meet any of those conditions, then it's not correct. Understand? And you see, but Atiyah is going and boy is giving an outline. Sounds very fancy. And when you were hearing that, I said, this is the power and the psychology of propaganda, especially fraudulent propaganda. That's why they don't talk to me, because they talk rubbish to me. You're going to hear the word of God. Do you understand me? The word of God is all I give. The only word of God is the Gij. Do you understand?
Yes.
You can see how you're seeing the fraud of Michael Atiyah. Can you see that?
Loud and clear.
Because the piece that I saw said Atiyah claims approving of Riemann hypothesis. In other words, prove that Riemann hypothesis is right, is correct. So that includes saying that 100% of all the zeros lie on one critical line, 1/2. And you have a very, very serious National Science Foundation result here saying that's impossible, absolutely impossible. It's not even 50%. There's no guarantee of 50% of those points. And all you need to disprove Riemann is just 1 point to be off that line. Can you see that?
Yes. 99%.
You understand me? And here you have only 41, it's not even 50%. Atiyah says, man, correct, man. That's to bribe the Germans to say, gee, if you make our son look like, you understand me, he's perfect, with fraud, hey, we're going to make sure that we support your prize. Do you understand?
Yes.
That is such a shame. That is such a disgusting, nasty, disrespect of himself. Do you understand? Okay,
Yes.
so now the other thing is that, okay, if you go to the references, you will see previous results that give you a sense of the the time factor in the numbers of number of zeros that lie on the critical line. Do you understand? Y'all understand? Okay, boom.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a report here, another what is called references. Okay. Again, the same guy, Corey. More than 2/5 of the zeros of the Riemann zeta function are on the critical line. Can you see that? Please point over here.
Yeah.
You can see that, right? That report. All right. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, that report was done. Look at the
Yeah, I see it.
1989 is when they did that report. 2/5 is 40%. You understand?
Yes.
So it didn't change in 10 years.
More than 10 years.
More than 10, 20 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sorry, no, wait, you're right. It was 22 years, excuse me.
22 years. It barely changed. It's basically the same number. Do you understand? So between 2011 and 2018, it's only 7 years. Do you understand?
Yes.
A number that stays for 22 without changing, how much change do you think you will get in 7 years?
0.5%.
Yes. So, but Atiyah says, man, the thing they're all on 1/2. Do you understand? So, hey, let's bundle the prizes. He's got every prize in the book. Do you understand? For fraud. So, is Atiyah a mathematician or a politician and other worse names? Do you understand? Do you understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you see a mathematician in this kind of fraud? Can you see evidence of mathematics in a person like this?
Mickey
No.
Mouse mathematics.
Okay, so therefore, and then hey, I wish your kids were here to laugh at him. You understand? Because it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So the convergence is one. It says the thing converges when it does not converge. There's no chance for its convergence because it has to converge. Zeta function has to converge when x is equal to 1. You just saw that a little while ago. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's a necessary condition to say Riemann hypothesis is correct. You understand? You all understand?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the necessary condition is that all the zeros lie on the critical line 1/2. And you have a very clear sign here, not even half of it. When all you need to disprove Riemann is that 1%, or just one number. You understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Atiyah is using a Cambridge cloak to confuse the whole world, man. And they have to choose a person with that kind of credential to come and, after all, he's supposedly on the Göttingen people. So you know where he is on Göttingen. Do you understand? The bottom. Do you understand? Bottom of the top people. Do you understand?
Yes.
And they can't wait to take the prize from the one that's, you understand me, is the center of the celebration and hand it to some thief. You understand?
Yes.
Y'all understand? Can y'all see the fraud now?
I can.
That's how they do.
Yes.
Yeah, so y'all see, I want to verify that you saw the fraud. So you still want to get prizes from this kind of people?
No.
Does
No.
anybody still want to get a prize from people like Atiyah and his people? You still want to?
No.
No.
You're not that desperate. You know how people say, look, they cook food for you and the food is, you understand? It's not so hot. And they say, you want the food, and you say, I'm not that hungry.
Yeah.
You have to be very hungry for a prize to get prize from this kind of people. You see how many things I've pointed out right now? In terms of the brute force of trying to steal,
Yes.
that is elegantly ordained by God, and then the convergence, which is a criteria, and you understand me? And then the number of points. All these are totally against what he's talking about. Totally. Akwemi Enoch was saying the same thing as well. You understand? And it's embarrassing, especially Akwemi Enoch is supposed to be black. One of their agents they push around to do a divide and conquer techniques amongst black people. So you understand that's what that's why there's so much problem on the planet. Okay, so any questions? Have you seen enough to be able to get the sense of the fraud? Have you seen enough, both of you?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. I see it.
Okay, how about Brother Sai?
Yes.
Praise God. Okay, so now let's get back now to the price. All right. So now, so therefore, why this is how you see that the African prize is the only credible prize. Can you see that? Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Because there's no fraud like this in the African prize. They have gone through the most rigorous review process for a prize. And it has been awarded. Therefore, this is the most prestigious, the best, the most credible prize in the history of humanity. Can't you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you should see your role in raising the money as an extraordinary privilege. If I'm not able to get you to see that, given the godliness of the prize itself and the credentials of people like Professor E. Abubakar, what he has done for the black race. Do you understand? Do you all understand?
Yes.
And Reverend Professor,
Yes.
people like Reverend Professor Ingram, Reverend Professor King, because his organization, Sister Q has their resolution, right, Sister Q? The Progressive Baptist Convention, Reverend King, right?
Yes.
That's right. On Gagut. So many years after he had transformed on. You understand? After they murdered him. You understand? The spirit is running strong. You understand? This Gagut has to be recognized by an African Black Prize. You all understand?
Yes.
Yes.
So you personally, please ask me questions. You have to see that something with the spirit of Reverend King. Say, hey, we owe it with our Creator to make sure we gather the penny. If we can run churches with that kind of spirit, we can raise the $2 million immediately. The amount that is in arrears is over $22 or so $1,000. Do you understand? I'm sorry, $22 million. Do you understand? But what is immediately necessary now is just the $2 million. And we've gone over, we haven't had an update for the last month or so. But the last update was $17 million. And, Sai and Sister Q, you've been, consistent in your contributions. So what needs to be done now is each one teach many. Do you understand? Do you all understand?
Yes.
So that means every black person you see, please, after
Yes.
after you say hi and all that, tell him, hey, have these copies of this thing handy. Now that you've seen the source that Gagut would have been forced to go look for a prize, how dirty and how fraudulent they are. Fraudulent, such, those kind that, all those are, you see that the neatest, the cleanest prize is the one that we must go with. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Isn't that right, folks?
Yes. Yes.
So therefore, can you then make a point? You see a black person, one that
Yes.
a greeting, distance with, to say, brother, hey, have you gotten the God news yet? Do you understand? The God news
Yes.
Riemann hypothesis. Have you heard that? And of course, you're going to hear
Yes.
Riemann what? You understand? Riemann hypothesis, the solution comes from their race. And they be called by God and the spirit of the legends. Professor General Brenhampton and all those who made all the sacrifices for us to wait, a long time to reach this point where now we do have we're now ordained to give the ultimate prize in intellectual achievements. Do you understand?
Yes.
We do not want to lose that privilege ever again, because look what we've gone through in the last 2,500 years when we didn't have that kind of facility. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. We didn't have something with the Nobel. Nobel is as rotten as clay.
Yes.
Yes. So our people only get peace prizes. They don't get academic prizes. That's kind of insult. Professor Andrew J. Beard was more qualified than any of the people that got Nobel Prizes. And yet he wasn't even nominated. Do you understand? These are the things that
Yes.
we must consider. So, you see, when we say $1 per person, the reason that is God's preferred way is that you don't look ridiculous when you ask anybody to, give $1 for something. Do you understand? However, if there are people who can afford to give 10,000 or even more, hey, they can go ahead. They will be helping the other brothers and sisters. Do you understand?
Yes.
The other advantage of $1 is that will mean that we will, give information to more of our people. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Because if we get $80 million connected, hey, will be that much powerful in the dynamics of things. Do you all understand? Okay?
Yes.
So they say
Yes.
the logarithmic mapping and the geometry is the most awesome. It turns out that the problem is actually a problem for a clock. You understand? It is so beautiful that you don't want this stolen. Do you all understand? This kind of blessing comes once one in light years dynamics. All right? John? Come on.
Everyone just hold on. Just hold on for a second.
Okay.
All right, here the professor is back. Please hold, everyone.
So, are you all there? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the G2J paper titled God Almighty's Grand Unified Theorem, Gagut J comma equal to 0 has revealed proven solution. That's the title. The Riemann hypothesis, a clear mathematics millennium problem by Professor Gabriel Oyibo, Gagut Unified and Radical Mathematics Research Journal, November 2010. That's a long time ago. Do you understand? Volume 1, number 1, pages 23 to 310. Published the technology, YouTube pages, youtube.com, and so on. You copy and paste. You understand me? You need to let everybody, get all this information. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then the review numbers, fundamental
Yes.
numbers, American Mathematical Society, MR 98E 83007 by Yom Koro, and EMS is by Professor Sagas, that is 09, who Professor Atiyah knows very well. 0929 53055. Okay, and then Professor E. Abubakar, represented by Professor Dambo, L. Dambo, conclude G2J to be the only valid solution to Riemann hypothesis. There is no other solution that is correct, okay, except G2J. Everything else anybody does must be equivalent to G2J, which is, yes, for finite, numbers, finite number of terms, yes, but in that case, you specify the number of terms you're keeping. But if it is infinite, you can't get a solution because there's no one single number for infinity. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay, so therefore, okay, and has been revealed through Gagut during 1990. Clear mathematics reviewers, they have not been able to disagree. It's not possible for them to fairly disagree. So Atiyah'S is unfairly disagreeing, but he never pointed. He has this piece for the longest time, since 1990. 2010. He had this, at least some part of it. In 2015 or 2016, early January, the actual details were sent over to all of them. Not one single one of them disagree with any of this. It's not, you understand me? So therefore, with the infallible Gagut G2J solution to Riemann hypothesis, together with all the problems, past, present, and future, as well as God's revelation to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, that hydrogen, defined by Gagut as Afrotrogen, is the only real element on the periodic table, and not 118 plus elements, as was believed before Gagut. And in the process, God revealed to you how to produce gold and other precious metals from Afrotrogen, or from other non-precious material, for instance, sand. You, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, John, I'm going to need you. So, okay, yeah. You, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, were also blessed by God with their understanding that Atiyah'S urbain represents all of the fundamental components of the universe, such as Atiyah'S of 0 representing all subatomic particles, and Atiyah'S of 1 through Atiyah'S of infinity representing all the various hierarchies of the solar system and galaxies. So Atiyah'S urbain, with n varying from negative infinity to plus infinity, has exactly transformed the totality of the universe into all of universe's fundamental components, through which God allowed you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, to understand the totality of the universe. Atiyah'S of infinity was also revealed by God to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, to be the rigorous proof of God Almighty's grand unified theorem, J comma equal to 0. You, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, were blessed by God to also understand that intelligence transforms complex realities like the universe to their fundamental simpler components with which to understand those complex realities, just like it has been transformed the totality of the universe into all of the universe's fundamental components, through which God allowed you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, to understand the totality of the universe, which is how God revealed to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, that eta sub n and intelligence are one and the same, and that eta sub n exactly defines intelligence. You, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, were blessed by God to also understand that since the geometric solutions eta sub n where n varies from negative infinity to plus infinity, fundamental and geometrical, represents the mapping or polymorphism of very real complex space-time geometries onto the mathematical space-time geometries like the human brains. Eta sub n where oh God, John, yeah, you need to be here because I just got the thing. You know, my fingers are not. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't work there, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, see? Okay. Raise it up as much as we can. So
It's at the bottom
Okay,
already.
I can't find out where I am. Okay, which is how God revealed to you, Professor Gabriel, that eta sub n and intelligence are one and the same, and eta sub n exactly defines intelligence. You, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, were blessed by God to also understand. That says the geometric solutions eta sub n, where n varies from negative infinity to plus infinity, fundamental and geometrical, represents the mapping or polymorphism of very real complex space-time geometries onto the mathematical space-time geometries like the human brains. Eta sub n, where n represents how many different real space-time points can be mapped onto a single point in the mathematical space-time like the human brains. That's what I was showing you earlier. Do you all understand?
Yes.
Yes, how I view the entire universe in my brains through that G, N, J, X, I to power N plus 1. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Like the human brains, the higher the number and the higher the number of points mapped onto just one point in the mathematical space-time. Y'all understand? You can see this it's endless what the blessings, that's what it means to say the God contains all solutions to all problems. Do y'all understand? So we're just giving a highlight of all that. Do you understand? Like the human brain status of Ben, and hence, N represents the level or index of intelligence. God does bless you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, with understanding of eta sub n as exact explanation of how brains work, eta sub infinity, through which God bless you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, with the understanding of the totality of the universe represents infinite or ultimate intelligence. We went over that earlier. And n is equal to the infinity represents the infinite ultimate intelligence level of quotient designed by God for you. Professor Gabriel Oyibo, and God bless you with Professor Gabriel Oyibo with the ultimate intelligence of eta sub infinity. Eta sub n, where n varies from negative infinity to plus infinity, was revealed by God to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, to fundamentally represent solutions to all problems. For example, God revealed to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, the G2J as a function of eta sub 0 to be the Gagut infallible solution to Riemann hypothesis. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so these are the facts.
Yes.
thing that God has done for us. God also revealed to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, that when the value of n approaches infinity, the fundamental building block for God or the universe, where the resulting eta of infinity is the absolute infinity that defines God as the one unbounded space-time of intelligence that we call the universe, that can't expand. Y'all understand? All these are come out of Gagut. There's nothing left. You understand?
You proved earlier that at a sub infinity, the whole
Yeah.
humanity stopped at one. They went from 0 to 1. But your at a sub infinity is equivalent to your brain, because you at a sub infinity and you are equivalent because you didn't stop at 1. You don't have a limit. You don't have a boundary. Yours goes infinite in the series. In the series, starting at 0, it just goes. It just keeps going on. That's amazing, right there. That's God.
Praise God, Brother Sai. Praise God. So that is what God has done, and so Atiyah and company put distractions so you can ignore that. Do you understand?
Yes.
So
yes, he's still at 1.
That's right, very clearly. All of this God revelation to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, have been verified by large numbers of global mathematicians and scientists, together with global mathematical and scientific organizations and universities, which include Professor Yom Corona, that's a geometer of the American Mathematical Society, Professor Gregory Sagas of the European Mathematical Society, EMS, Professor Chichoka, EMS, Professor Pazzi, AMS, Professor A.D. Konkin, AMS, Professor Alex Animalou, and that is a guy who rubbed shoulders with the previous, although he was a location professor at Cambridge, guy called Sir James Lighthill, okay? Konkin, so Professor Alex Animalou of the National University Commission, NUC, of Nigeria, who is a Cambridge University-trained mathematical physicist, physics professor. Professor Iya Abubakar of the National University Commission of Nigeria, NUC, who is a world-class. Now, when I say he's a world-class, that is real, not a Michael Atiyah type. Do you understand? Okay?
Yes.
He is a world-class mathematics professor because he's a professor, a real mathematician, with a PhD in mathematics from Cambridge University. That's supposed to be where Atiyah got his degree, but his was a phony degree, obviously. Do you all understand?
Yes.
Okay, from what you...
Yes.
Okay. Other world-renowned mathematics and mathematical science professors like Professor George Handelman, a former Brown University math professor, Professor Edith Lutyens, whose academic grandfather is mathematics legend, Professor David Hilbert of Göttingen University. And Atiyah is going to pollute Göttingen University. Shame on you, Professor Atiyah. Professor L. Lebrescu, a mathematical science professor and a hero of the Virginia Polytechnic Institute, VPI massacre, Professor Robert Lowy, a famous aeronautics professor from Georgia Tech, Professor Eugene Brunel, a famous aeronautics professor from Princeton University, Professor William Sigmund, a famous mathematics professor with a PhD in mathematics from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Just naming a few. The whole world, the people who have brains in the mathematics world have already, said what needs to be said with regards to Gagut. Do y'all understand?
Yes.
Understand? Okay, so American Mathematical Society, AMS, the review number 9807, yes. European Mathematical Society, AMS, ZBL 0929-53055. Göttingen University, greatest mathematician ranking in honor of Professor Carl Friedrich Gauss. Considered to be the greatest mathematician since antiquity before Gagut during the Gauss year 2005. commemoration where they recognize Gagut as the greatest mathematics work, past, present, and the future, and hence recognizing you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, to whom Gagut was revealed by God as being the greatest mathematician of all time, with the ultimate intelligence of etas of infinity that can be surpassed, past, present, and the future, by making the Gagut revelation the center of the commemoration, week 26 of the 52-week commemoration. By recognizing Gagut as the God Almighty's grand unified theorem, they have also recognized that all infallible solutions, mathematically defined as the theorems or infallible truths to all mathematics problems, including the clear math, 7 toughest math problems, so-called, particularly the infallible Gagut solution to Riemann, to Navier-Stokes problems, and infallible Gagut G2J solution to the Riemann hypothesis problem, have all been infallibly revealed by God to you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, through Gagut. The National University Commission of Nigeria, together with the global evaluation of Gagut, along with the Nigerian government issuing a Nigerian postage stamp in honor of Gagut, and an evaluation by world-recognized mathematical physics professor Krishnendu Dasgupta that compelled him to conclude that Gagut has recognized you, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, as being, in his own words, more close to God than any of us. Those are people who have brains. Do you understand? Yeah. So in addition to this conclusion, the foundation was compelled by the resolution of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, co-authored by the mathematics legend, Professor Senator Abubakar, with a PhD in mathematics from Cambridge University, as contained in the order paper 151, dated March 2005, which recognized that Gagut has all infallible solutions to all problems of mathematics and other disciplines. Atiyah couldn't see that. You understand? That if we want other nations and indeed the world to recognize and appreciate the accomplishment of African geniuses, African nation, which I know was saying, Atiyah will not recognize that the Down-Best solution to wave equation. That's pitiful. You understand? African nations should, as a matter of urgency, create mechanism for recognizing and honoring the geniuses and great exploits of our race. That this distinguished Senate do urge the federal government of Nigeria to liaise with other members of the African Union to immediately institute the African International Prize for Science and Technology with the prize award money higher than that of a Nobel Prize. That it is necessary and expedient for Nigeria and all the African nations to make legislative provisions for the enthronement of African International Prize for Science and Technology. And that Professor Gabriel Oyibo be honored as the first recipient with the maiden edition of the award. That is a recognition that nobody has ever received before, that a whole race voted unanimously to honor them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now that's extraordinary. And so a lot of brains must have really gone through that process, like a real Cambridge mathematics professor, trained professor, like Professor Abubakar. Do you all understand? Do you all understand?
Yes.
Okay. This Senate do congratulate Professor Gabriel Oyibo on his achievements and honor him with the invitation to address this distinguished Senate in the chamber of his God Almighty's grand unified theorem, Gagut. The foregoing resolutions of the Nigerian Senate, which is the highest legislative authority of the most concentrated blacks in the world, and the result of the appropriate authority of the foundation, confirmed your outstanding credentials for this award. This is the highest prize for academic achievement in history of mathematics, science, and technology, because Gagut is the greatest revelation of a discovery by God to any creature, and necessary high-profile arrangements will be put in place for immediate conferment of the award, and the date and venue of which will be communicated to you in due course. Please. You are requested to note that a public scientific lecture on the subject of this award will be delivered by you as part of the award ceremony. And accept our congratulations. The prize money of this award is equivalent of $2 million every year for your lifetime. However, beyond your lifetime, the award continues in the same amount, which would become part of the endowment for the Department of Technology, the home of Gagut, defined by God to be the ultimate university and universal headquarters of intelligence for all creatures. For Africa International Foundation for Science and Technology, Professor Pata Gurungu, Director General. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Praise God. So this is what God has done. And he's done. Atiyah couldn't do anything with that. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Because people who really have walked,
Yeah.
came together globally. All the people that matter in the world have already signed up, including, Göttingen and the spirit of Gauss. You can't ask for any more than that. You all understand? So,
Yes.
So this is what happens. So now your thing now is to, see your role, your niche in the fundraising, which is supposed to be the most exciting thing to do, because now you have something that you could raise money.
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, is it only incumbent upon Black Americans in America to raise the funding, or what about those other nations in Africa? They have a lot of a lot of oil, a lot of gold, a lot of resources. They should be able to put up $1 million too for this. The people of the African Union, all of those countries, they need to put up some millions too.
Yeah, if people like Atiyah and Stephen Hawking don't interrupt, you understand?
No, I'm serious. I'm talking about these African governments. They should put up some money for this because they signed off on it. But
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of what part of what Atiyah is doing. Both of them supposed sat on Newton's chairs. Okay? One is location professorship and the other is Master Trinity College. Atiyah, so-called, may so rest in perfect peace. Had nothing to do, say, child of God. That's Stephen Hawking. When the Gagut was really flowing, he actually went and fraudulently got a meeting with Retired General Nelson Mandela, who Gagut helped to release him from prison. Do you understand? And I tried to advise him that they have something called the so-called Next Einstein program in Africa. You understand? That when they were doing this, that's what Atiyah is doing. When they were doing that, you understand? The Black people were trying to meet with Nelson Mandela to inform him of Gagut and could not get a meeting with him. One of the senators from Nigeria, one Senator Agbo, had written him a letter, open letter to Nelson Mandela, but he didn't get a response. But Stephen Hawking was getting a response because they did their accounting and everything else. They talk about you supported you while you're in the prison and all that. You understand? So, but in other words, this is what happened. These kind of people come in between the Black people and their so-called governments. You understand? You understand?
Yes.
So Atiyah is doing the same thing here. He's going out of his way to block Gagut from getting a dirty award. He's doing us a favor in reality. Dirty, filthy, worthless award from play math. You understand? They're doing us a favor, I can tell you that. You understand? So, but in reality, yes, you're right. Clearly, you're right. So the challenge is how to be able to communicate with them because Jim Crow, terrorizes them. Jim Crow, wants them as soon as they come into power. First of all, Jim Crow funds the political campaigns and everything else. Because by and large, our people, even though they may have so-called mineral resources, they're not productive. They don't even mine the resources themselves because Jim Crow will not allow them. So Jim Crow can steal, the stuff. Do you understand? So when a black leader, so-called, come into on the throne, Buhari is probably one of the best examples. Buhari is pretty much languishing in England, because whatever was done to him, they cause him a sickness that he has to go to England for, which is extraordinarily embarrassing to be a president of the country where Gagut came from. But that is the kind of thing that Atiyah is doing, Stephen Hawking was doing. It was so shameful for Stephen Hawking to push that project. That's after he went to China, tried to replicate the audience size for Gagut presentation at Kogi State University. He had to go to China. Okay, Stephen Hawking because there was 10,000, as you saw some glimpse of it, right? Sihern?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, Stephen Hawking wanted to match that record, so he traveled to China. So there's enough density there for him to make it. And supposedly he came with about 6,000, you understand? But in any case, that's the kind of nonsense. So when a black person, you have to go through a political process that's controlled by Jim Crow because you're not productive. You can't raise the capital required for politics. Do you understand? And the politics don't do black people any good at all. It's a worthless politics. Because you come there and not allowed to be productive. You there just helping siphon the resources of the black people to Jim Crow. That's what is going on. So that's why communicating with those people have no power at all. When Professor Buhari came in at first, 30-something years ago, he wanted to do something like everybody else, all the people that were murdered, you understand? Maurice Bishop, Thomas Sankara, and all those others were trying to do the same thing. He was in that league. So they still got an agent to topple him. You understand? So, agent of Jim Crow. So therefore, you are in danger if you want to do something good for the people. Jim Crow will go after you. First, they will starve you of money. They will use so-called diplomatic techniques to paint a very bad image about you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that just because of that, the communication is impossible. Do you understand? It just needs to be understood, So it calls for communication. When they come to this country, it's important that the brothers and sisters here, have dinners and lunches with them. Do you understand?
That's right.
And then communicate. And it's not just the African diaspora, because, the West Indies and South America and all that, they're all included because it's a global thing. And everybody that is getting the information, they're so excited. So we have to put in that excitement into a privilege, a blessing that comes once in a creation. Do you understand?
Yes.
The blessing of everything. So we cannot allow it slide. But so therefore, so that's the dynamics of the challenge, but the challenges don't stop solutions. Many people believe challenges are an opportunity to take your abilities to a much higher level. Do you understand?
That's true.
Yeah. So, but that will be, in fact, even communicating with them on the internet will help. So once you make a point, every black person needs to be informed of this. And the whole idea is that because, in the African situation, many of them don't have access to computers. That's one problem. You understand me? Because nobody's productive. It is sharecropping, and there isn't really independence there. But Jim Crow, that's what you see from Atiyah and Stephen Hawking and company. That's how they, in other words, blatant lies, fraud, to make life miserable for people. That's all you get over there. You understand?
Yes.
People are starving, they're dying at an extraordinary rate because there's nothing but ignorance around them and fear from Jim Crow. But God has really resolved that problem through Gagut, which is the God news. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And so this is an avenue to bring the people together. You can see that, right? The price. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah. And I see our role too.
Exactly. So therefore, this becomes an avenue for connection, especially, ironically, the kind of nonsense that's going with Atiyah. They want to steal, and I talk about Atiyah because it's been used by Clay Math. Clay Math is the real nasty organization, extremely nasty, dumb like crazy. Okay, so they're using Atiyah to achieve their goal of fraudulent trying to steal Gagut, and they have no clue that that is an impossible task because it's in the blood and the soul of every Black person already. G.I.J. Command equal to 0. So, but they never gave up, but so must your own spirit be. You understand?
Yeah.
Onward ever, backwards never.
Absolutely, because the Jim Crow can't even steal this. What are they going to do with it? That is such a dumb, dynamics. They have no brains to do anything with G.I.J. Command equal to 0.
You can know something, but you can't understand it.
Exactly. You just say it and then, oh, gee, I like it. Go pick it up. What do you do with it? You kill people. That's the only thing Jim Crow does with knowledge. Right?
That's all we've seen.
Yeah.
100-year wars.
Exactly. So, but God has really brought in a way to. But that's a good idea in terms of really, just make it a point because you have so much to share with the brothers and sisters. You can see that, right?
Definitely.
An award award letter is 5 pages, and it's still a summary. You understand? that itself is part of the price, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how big.
Yeah.
How big what God has given to us is. That's why everybody is so jealous. So, but you must keep your humor.
I would be jealous too. I mean, you could say you have 0 and 1, and then you have infinity. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going crazy. It's nothing to live for. I'm done with this.
Yeah, in real, that's really what's happening. But you see, in our history has been, hey, whatever we have, we share with people. Do you understand? And we don't disrespect any of them. You understand me? And certainly we don't, we don't do harm.
I can see how you can share. If you got infinity, you don't care. You here.
Well, that's what comes with the territory. So just like you say, for me, it happens for the entire Black people. That's why this hostility does not exist in a Black soul. Do you understand me? We share because we're blessed with so much.
Yes.
And this is the proof of that, because it's so much, absolutely so much. So we'll share with everyone.
But Professor, okay. Now you got these people, they got 0 and 1, and they're the most arrogant things in the planet. Now you got infinity. How much you feel as a human being with
Absolutely.
infinity? I mean, Jesus.
That's why I try to break down for them to say, listen, all these unnecessary killings is just unfortunate because there is no reason to kill any life. Absolutely not. There's no need to steal from anyone. You understand me? you understand? Yeah. Making gold from sand. So why should there be any hatred and the kind of nasty thing that Atiyah is involved in right now? Why should there be stuff like that? So that's evidence they're out of it. Totally out of it. Okay?
No need.
Huh? What did you say, Sister Q?
I said no need whatsoever for all that killing.
Exactly. Absolutely. There's no need. So that's lack of understanding. You understand? But then they want to look intelligent by any means necessary. Take your time and slow down and learn. It's very simple. It's easy. You understand? So, but we shall overcome in the words of Reverend King. But so therefore it's all lined out in terms of it's summary of what God has done for us. So yes, brother, you'll be running into people in the stores and wherever you go. Please don't hold back with the brothers and sisters. They desperately need the information. And they need to understand that the way with the donation is the least we can do. That's number one. Number two, because to glorify the Almighty God, because that's the totality of the glorification, right, in Atiyah's of infinity and J. So each one teach many simply means you get, you read all this and say, wow, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. But you don't want to hold back on the next brother or next sister. So if you can tune yourself well, just say, hi, how you doing? Say the Gagut hi to them. Do you understand? People are going to ask you, what does that mean, Gagut? You understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
A Gagut hi to your brother or sister. You say, what's that? That begins a conversation with them. You understand?
Yes.
That's what time it is. And certainly the young folks, the younger people, Sister Q's people, you understand? The young ones are going to have a ball. I hope you try that with them, Sister Q. You understand? Instead of a high five, let it do.
I will.
A guy got high, you understand? A guy got 5, you understand? You understand?
Yes.
I think that would help. Because people just need to get them started. You understand? You understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Because some may ignore, but some are going to hear, God, what do you mean by that? That's God Almighty's grand unifying theorem. That's your blessing. You understand? Oh, yeah? You understand? So an email, hello, God got, good morning to you. You understand? God got love to you, kids. You understand? Can we begin trying stuff like that and try to reach our people? Because they need the information bad, right?
Yes. Let's
try stuff like that. Handshake, let's do a Gagut handshake. You understand? See, when we're younger, we had the soul brother handshake test. You understand? For folks who infiltrate and all that. And they come and say, gee, they're brothers and everything else. Do you understand? And they test it very quickly. You understand?
Yes.
So let's do some Gagut handshake to make things so much fun, because that even in spite of Atiyah and Hawking and all these other folks, to bring out, what God has blessed us with in terms of the ultimate fun associated with this blessing. Do you understand? Y'all understand?
Yes.
Because then once you begin that phase, it won't be long before they see a need a need. And the contribution, like I said, doesn't have to be in a Gagut, sorry, in a Jim Crow currency only. You understand? Just the idea of teaching another sister, another brother, comes with it, a donation. Because the brother or sister that heard you and said, yeah, I'm going to donate, what he's going to be donating or she's going to be donating is on behalf of him and you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So therefore, but the talk is important. The talk is
Yeah.
the talking is donation, is what I'm trying to explain. You understand?
Yes.
Understand? Because people pay for information. So you give people information, you're giving them money. Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
So you see, in other words, that's how God said you gotta remember that
Yes.
I had to be godly for God to release all this infinite stuff on me. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to communicate with you. There is no problem in what you've been asked by God to do.
Yes.
It's an ideal part of your existence. Each one teach many. Mama does that every second. Why is teaching kids all the time? Cooking and teaching them how to cook. That's the fundamental part of our existence. Y'all understand? So we now extend it into Gagut because everything that you do there, without mentioning Gagut, if it's right, is Gagutical. So just sneak in the word Gagut in places that you were not having them before. And you watch God do miracles. Do you understand? Praise God.
Yes.
So can we try that in less, soon?
Yes.
Okay. And then, for people who pick up like the Gagut handshake, you understand me? You can coin all your own dynamics, or Gagut hug, you understand me? You understand me? Even Gagut food, you understand? Gagut drink, you understand? Like Sihern had, the plate number, Gagut plate number on this car, this. Do you understand? And certainly Gagut shirts and so on and so forth. Do you understand? Because Gagut is everything. Gagut is God and everything else.
Yes.
So Gagut can spread in other words, when you call Gagut, you are in tune with the Creator. Because the first word there is God Almighty, Grand Unified Theorem. You understand?
Yes.
You live a life that is full of God. That's ideal. You understand? And
Yes.
people like Atiyah would learn, they'll learn, from that godliness. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that, if we can make a note for ourselves to try that and let us know here, how it's working out. That means you could do that with everyone, even Jim Crow. You understand? You understand?
Yes.
So I think that if we can try that, the information can spread.
Okay.
All right? All right. So do we make note of that and
Okay.
hopefully, the media campaign also. The media campaign is also very critical in terms of, all the media need to, cooperate with all this as well, because with that connection, a lot of people can be reached. All right. All right.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
now so that is as much. John, am I missing something that I need to go? Yes, and then the marketing. Sister Q, John was telling me about your beginning the book dynamics. That sounds wonderful. The Gagut books, okay. So I heard has at least one that has elevated to. I don't know if Side, you have a copy of highlights.
Yes.
Oh my God! So you are a millionaire. Wow, and so and Sister Q's book, is that one or two, John? Okay, so you're shipping that out, like today. I mean, later on. Okay, very good. So yes, let's have the books. Let's socialize Gaga.
Professor.
Yes. Yes.
There's another book I wanted to order also.
Okay.
There's another book I wanted to order. I didn't see it though. It took me to Amazon to get it.
Okay. Oh, you know the title? Hello?
It's the one for 200.
Oh, yeah. Okay, John can help you with that. That is the Riemann.
Yeah, it's the one for 200, Professor.
Yes. Okay, so you want, okay. John, can you get with her tomorrow on that? Okay, send her a link, okay? Or, you go on PayPal, that's it. In fact, you deposit it to be understood automatically anyway. Do you understand? What's the shipping? $7 somewhere? Okay. So, you understand? Just put in the Sister Q and it will be understood. Later on, you could refine it if necessary. Do you understand in terms of but, now you've told us John knows that already. Do you understand? But is the Riemann hypothesis book, and that contains some very valuable.
Okay.
Yeah, it has very valuable information. Some of it has to do with health. You understand? So that will be important. That will be important book to add to the collection.
Yes.
All right. So John can give you a call to see if but send her the name. Do you understand, John? In fact, you could do that tonight, okay? Yeah. So he's going to be sending you the name of it, okay? Just so it's kind of long name, but that everybody needs to get, as well. So, yeah. So the business side of it, see the books as part of the IPO for Gagut. And everybody needs to get involved so you can feel the business side of Gagut in terms of why the blessing is so huge from God. Because his survival is everything that you need. You understand? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, but
yes.
Yeah, but just remember to say Gagut hi to everyone. You understand?
Yes.
Yes. And let's see how people respond to that. And we'll be curious to find out.
Yes.
Certainly the young ones will be. I'm pretty sure if Sister Q remembers to really get going with that, that's going to go very, very far with the young ones. You understand? Because they like stuff like that, even the little older ones. Because they could coin it up in their own, hip hop style, and you understand, you see what could be done with it. Do you understand? They'll understand.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then, that's what needs. So now, any other questions? Okay. In other words, the center focus of this was the Atiyah factor and the clay math. Now, do you have enough information on that for you to get some clarity on things now, or you have some more questions? Any more questions? Try again, Sister Q. How about Brother Sai? Any more questions?
I have questions, but I don't think it can be answered, like told to the public.
I understand. I understand. And you're going to try, the connections with the diaspora brothers and sisters also. Brothers.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Just pass on. Your car is there already. Do people ask you questions with your plate number?
I have got a question or two. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Some of them don't, but I would be curious to find out the socialization dynamics piece,
Yeah.
to see what's the response. But yeah, so we're glad that we're able to really go over some of these things today, so you know what's going on and how is them doing us a favor. Do you understand? We're only interested in African International Prize because it's the greatest prize. Do you understand?
Yes.
Clay math can go take their prize and shove it. You understand?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun to see that. So there's no sweat at all. So because they're not qualified. And so it's Nobel. See, Nobel, once Gagut was ignored by Nobel, you understand me? It it used to be when they announced the Nobel Prize. Wow, people, or they do a video on it, people, you see tons, millions of people watching.
That's true.
When they did the thing with Gagut and they tried to ignore Gagut, we've seen announcement of Nobel Prize, and for 6 months, what kind of figures were we seeing in terms of the total viewers? John, you remember that? On the ironic, on the website associated with Göttingen, it was less than 22 or 23 for 6 months. That's how much care about Nobel Foundation today, these days. You understand?
Yes.
Yes.
That's, and that's where Atiyah and Clay Math are going with their so-called worthless prizes. Nobody pays attention. You understand? Because it's not worth anything. It's so fraudulent and so political and so hate filled. It's nonsense, absolute nonsense. So once Nobel had been recognized, the German youth were really disgusted to see Gagut was not getting a Nobel Prize. So.
Professor, I got some pumpkin seeds that I'm eating now, and I just want to ask about are raisins okay? I didn't get any, but I didn't know if I should. But I got the pumpkin seeds though.
Yeah, no, seeds, with moderation.
Oh, okay.
Some of the seeds have a lot of what do you call it?
With the fats.
Yeah, well, fat, also oxalic acid that, kind of is not friendly with kidneys. Like almonds. Almonds is high in oxalic acid. So that's, but they need that though. So you just don't overindulge. And they have sugar also. Sugar, has their own sluggishness. So, and when you're in doubt, just call us over here and we would we would share some of the facts with you. You understand?
Yes, I do.
All right. So yeah, and anytime there's more information, hey, pass them on to us. But let's have a Gagut time, Gagut, real time with our people. You understand? Let's share the love of God in Gagut with our people and the rest of humanity. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
we're gonna, and if there's any need for an emergency, again, we'll do it anytime. You all understand?
Yes.
All right, Sister Q.
Yes.
So you all be godly, focused and vigilant, understanding God is the greatest and in charge. That's your
That's all right with me.
praise God. So can we therefore say good night with everyone?
Gagut, good night.
Okay, God, good night. Hey, dynamite. Awesome. Okay, John, come on and close up. All right.
Good night.
Okay, God, good night, Sister Q.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, guy. Good night to you.
God, good night to you, Sister Q.
Have a good night. God, good night, both of you.
Gagut, good night.
Well, all of you. God bless you all.
Gagut, good night.
Thank you.